They warned her 3 times before she ever saw them. The first warning came in the form of a red seal on her contract, pulsing faintly with biohazard markers and military glyphs. Xenauspices. K-class. Hatchlings. Extreme risk. Do not engage without authorization. Warning came from Commander a 6-limbed Korth officer whose species measured danger the way humans measured weather. Calmly, clinically, with experience etched into every word. They are not young, Threk said. They are incomplete weapons. Their instincts precede reason. The third warning came from the medical AI, which politely suggested that her life expectancy would drop by 47% if she insisted on direct caretaking interaction. Evelyn Harper listened to all 3 warnings. Then she packed her yarn. Outposts R9 drifted at the edge of unclaimed space, orbiting a dim red dwarf. It was not meant to be a home. It was a holding facility, a place where things too dangerous to destroy and too valuable to lose were studied behind layered shields. The hatchlings had arrived 2 weeks earlier in armored containment pods. No one had touched them since. They killed a squad on Tyrell Station, one technician whispered as Evelyn passed. Melted through bulkheads. Ate the power core. Evelyn nodded politely. She'd heard similar stories before. Humans always had. When she finally entered the observation chamber, she stopped just inside the threshold and took a breath. 4 of them, each about the size of a large dog, curled in separate reinforced cradles. Their bodies were all angles and layered chitin, dark and iridescent, with faint bioluminescent veins pulsing under their shells. Too many joints. Too many claws, heads like a cross between a reptile and an insect, with folded sensory fronds instead of eyes. Weapons, the others called them. Hatchlings, the xenobiology report insisted. Evelyn set her bag down slowly and sat on the floor, well outside the marked danger zone. "Hello," she said softly, as if entering a nursery. "I'm Evelyn." The hatchlings reacted instantly. All 4 lifted their heads, fronds flared, claws scraped against reinforced alloy. Warning lights flickered. "Miss Harper," Threx's voice came over the intercom. "Do not vocalize. Sound may trigger a predatory response." Evelyn smiled faintly and kept her voice gentle. "I won't hurt you," she said anyway. "I promise." The smallest hatchling let out a sharp, crackling chirr. Temperature sensors spiked. Evelyn reached into a bag. The first sweater took her 2 days. She worked behind transparent alloy plating, fingers moving with practiced ease, knitting needles clicking softly. The yarn was thermal smart fiber, standard issue for cold world expeditions. She'd chosen soft, muted colors: deep blue, moss green, warm gray. The station watched her like she was insane. "You're wasting time," a scientist muttered. "They don't feel cold." "They do," Evelyn replied without looking up. "Their metabolism drops when stressed. Cold slows them further." "How do you know?" I read the footnotes. When the sweater was done, she didn't approach. She placed it gently on the floor just inside the containment threshold and stepped back. "Gift," she said softly. The largest hatchling moved first. It crept forward, movements sharp and jerky, every motion ready to become violence. Its claws stopped inches from the sweater. Sensory fronds brushed the fabric. Static popped, then confusion. The hatchling recoiled, then leaned in again. It nudged the sweater with its head. The fibers responded, warming slightly. The hatchling froze. All 4 hatchlings went still. Commander Threx leaned closer to the observation screen. "What is happening?" Evelyn held her breath. Slowly, cautiously, the largest hatchling pulled the sweater toward itself and after. Several failed attempts managed to get its head through one opening. The effect was immediate. Its bioluminescent veins softened in brightness. Its posture lowered. The sharp, erratic movements smoothed. It curled. A sound echoed through the chamber. Not a screech. Not a threat display. A low, rhythmic vibration. The AI flagged it as unknown vocalization, possibly contentment response. Silence filled the control room. "It's purring," Evelyn whispered. After that, everything changed. The second sweater went faster. Then the third. Then the fourth. Each hatchling reacted differently. One tried to bite the yarn before wearing it. One refused until it saw the others settle. The smallest crawled directly into Evelyn's lap the first time she was allowed inside the chamber, curling its armored body against her knees like a living furnace. Security alarms screamed. Evelyn didn't move. "It's seeking heat," she said calmly, "and contact." The hatchlings stopped lashing out. They stopped attacking the containment walls. Their growth rate stabilized. Their energy output dropped to manageable levels. For the first time since their discovery, no one died. "Explain," Commander Threx demanded during the emergency council. Evelyn set her needles down. "They're social," she said. "Pack bomb." The reports focused on what they did when isolated and frightened. "They are biologically engineered siege organisms," Threx countered. "So are wolves," Evelyn replied, "and we knit sweaters for dogs." That got her stares. She continued, "They weren't attacking because they're evil. They were cold, alone, and terrified. Their species regulates emotion through thermal exchange and physical proximity." The room went quiet. "You're saying," a scientist said slowly, "that they needed comfort." Evelyn shrugged. "Didn't you? The first time you woke up somewhere strange?" The test came 3 days later. A power fluctuation sabotage, as it turned out, dropped the containment shields for exactly 7 seconds. 7 seconds was long enough for one hatchling to reach a fully armed guard. The station froze. Evelyn was already moving. She stepped between them without thinking, arms out, hard hammering. "It's okay," she said, voice shaking but steady. "It's okay. I'm here." The hatchling halted. Its claws hovered inches from her chest. Solis Lalit leaned forward and pressed its armored head against her sweater. The guard lowered his weapon. 7 seconds ended. Shields snapped back online. No one spoke for a long time. Commander Threx finally bowed his head, a rare gesture among his kind. "We were wrong," he said. Evelyn sank to the floor, laughing and crying at the same time. The hatchling curled in her lap. Months later, the hatchlings were reclassified. Not weapons, not threats. Juvenile, K-class, cooperative organisms. They were relocated to a sanctuary world with controlled habitats, social structures, and at Evelyn's insistence, a textile workshop. On the day she left the station, all 4 followed her to the shuttle bay. They couldn't come with her, but they pressed close, vibrating softly, sweaters worn thin and mended countless times. Evelyn knelt and rested her forehead against the largest one's shell. "Be good," she whispered. "Grow big. Don't let them make you into something you're not." The hatchling chirred and nudged her gently. As the shuttle doors closed, Commander Threx stood beside her. "Your species is illogical," he said. Evelyn smiled through tears. "We know." "But," Threx added, watching the 4 deadly creatures huddled together in brightly colored sweaters, "your kindness appears to be one of your most effective survival traits." Evelyn leaned back in her seat, knitting needles already clicking again. Somewhere in the galaxy, monsters were learning what it meant to be warm, and humanity, as always, had survived not by fear, but by love, patience, and a very good sweater.